Uh, so welcome, hello and welcome to IH Research Week 2022. My name is Kim Peek and I'll be your guide for this whole week. I'm a mother, a daughter, a friend, and I have the pleasure and honor of working with amazing people, both within the interior and beyond, as a research navigator and community facilitator for both Interior Health and the BC Support Unit Interior Centre. I'd like to start by acknowledging that I'm located in the Okanagan as an uninvited guest on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Syilx people. We welcome you to share the names of the traditional lands that you're gathered on today in the chat box. If you do not know the names of the lands, please visit the website native-land.ca and we'll ensure to share the link also in just a moment. IH Research Week 2022 is hosted by the IH Research Department in partnership with the Interior Centre. Presentations this week will include focus on three main areas of community, health, and research. Thank you to everyone that has helped shape this week and to everyone that is here today. We're so thankful that you've joined us and that you're here. And it's truly a great honor and pleasure to introduce Elders Grouse and Pamela Barnes, Syilx Nation knowledge keepers who reside in the Westbank First Nation. Grouse and Pamela Barnes are adjunct professors at UBCO School of Nursing, honorary fellows at Okanagan College, and facilitate cultural teachings in partnership with Kelowna Heritage Museum, the Kelowna Art Gallery, Rotary Centre of the Arts, and regional parks. Elder Pamela and Grouse, we sincerely thank you for your time today and appreciate your wise words of wisdom to help us set the tone for all that is to come. Elders Pamela and Grouse, the virtual microphone is yours.
Lim. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pamela Barnes. My ancestral name is Chuchawasket, which means the coming of a storm or the coming of change. And thank you for the land acknowledgements. And it's my honor to welcome you to our traditional territory. And in doing so, I just want to share just a bit about, the difference between a land acknowledgement and a land welcoming, because they're two very important protocols, but they're different. And a land acknowledgement is simply thanking your host. Just like if you were invited for dinner, you would thank your host and recognize them as your host. And that's what a land acknowledgement is. Whether history's been taught to you in that fashion or not, the truth is that we are your hosts because we've never sold, traded, given away, or negotiated any of our lands. And so that's the truth, is that we're your hosts. A land welcome is another matter, and it's only appropriate that a Syilx person do that. And so that is what I have the honor of doing. And so in doing so, I want you to fully understand what our lands mean to us. Our lands are made up of the blood and the bones of our ancestors for thousands and thousands of years. And so it's all sacred to us, not just one place here or there. All of it is sacred to us, and we're mindful of that when we're out walking on the land. And in our teachings, we're reminded that any one of us is only here for a moment in time. So our teachings are more around our relationship to these lands as being more like borrowing them from future generations. And there's a big difference between human land ownership, which is a concept that's come to our lands in the last 200 years, and that idea of borrowing. So if I own this necklace, I can sell it, trade it, give it away. It's mine. Can do what I want. I can take good care of it, or I can toss it aside. It's mine. Do what I want. But the moment that I borrow it, everything about the relationship changes. I can't sell it. I can't trade it. I can't give it away. It's not mine to do that with. And even more importantly, it is expected that I take the best care I possibly can, and that when I leave it or return it, it's at least in the same condition that I found it. So it's with this understanding of our sacred responsibilities to our lands and the waters and all of the life that it contains, we first welcomed others to the traditional lands of the Syilx people. And it's with that understanding that today I welcome you to the traditional unceded and currently occupied territory of the Syilx people, with the reminder, none of us are doing the best job that we can to care for these lands and the water and all of the life that it contains for all of our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. My hope is that we all come to a point of taking action in a positive way to do a better job for all future generations. Lim Lim.
Why has the Nelkin is squeezed in tam questions until Stakat Newt. Talikastis Uskan a lot is Nelkin. A hard school welcomes to Mapanas Halhald. Talikast Kaliat sweet. Why apana white Tikukulamitum Pula? Why is ka I am? He is Naxil, why wheel he called Smoke Mark. Tikum te speak cast was witsum te sa whip ulapanats tlatlastisi I papa latsa is tlatinum is tlequicals is the cakwal. Why claps timison ka ilsted will tali hastis uskanala this neokin. Why has halkal. Hello. My ancestral name is Kaninam Tamtan Questions. My English name is Wilfred Barnes. We're elder from Westbank First Nation. So the land is changing. It's turning into fall time. And our people have already went to the mountains and gathered medicines. They've gathered berries, and we've already dug roots. So at this time, we're looking for a little bit of deer, maybe some moose for our winter food. We still go on the land. We still do the things we've been doing for thousands of years. So we start everything out with a little prayer, and that's let's get on with what we're going to do this afternoon and enjoy each other's company. Thank you, and let's have a good day.
Thank you both so much. We value the sharing of your words and your time, and we sincerely appreciate the relationships that we continue to build together. And we welcome you both to stay for today's events if possible for your schedule, and understand though that you're very busy also. And we just thank you so much for taking the time and carving a time out to be with us today, and also for your patience with getting in to the Zoom. And for your use of light, humor, and kindness. That meant a lot, I know for sure, for both me and Sage this afternoon. So thank you both so much. And next, I'm sincerely honored to introduce Dr. Dee Taylor, who has many hats. And one of those is as Corporate Director of the IH Research Department. Dee, the virtual microphone is yours.
Thank you so much, Kim. First of all, I just want to thank Elders Pamela and Grouse for your wonderful words, opening remarks, welcome and reminder that we have a responsibility with that land acknowledgement to respect the land that we're on and do our part to understand how we can support the land, the health, the well-being. So great gratitude from me to you. And with that topic of the land acknowledgement, I would like to just let you know that I come to you from my rural home in Eagle Bay, which is along the Shuswap Lake. And it's in the unceded ancestral territory of the Secwepemc peoples. It's a beautiful day out here today, and it's a gorgeous fall. It was a bit cool this morning. So as I reflected on the land acknowledgement and welcome from elders Pamela and Grouse, I was struck by just how privileged I feel to be in this home, live in this place. And in the interior, we have such a beautiful region that we get to call home and that we get to explore in terms of different regions. So just really wanted to let you know that that land acknowledgement really has landed on me. And also to let you know that I had the privilege to go on a walking tour of the Syilx Nation with one of the First Nation leads. And anybody out there, if you get a chance, wherever you are, to have somebody from that First Nations or local First Nations group to go and actually get out and walk and learn and be out in this beautiful place, that I encourage you to do so. It was one of the greatest teaching moments of certainly of my life. So welcome. As Kim said, we are here to kick off another IH Research Week 2022. And as I really reflected on what was I going to say to open this wonderful week and offer my thanks and gratitude for all the presenters and the audience that is going to partake this week, it happens to be my 8-year anniversary for interior health since I started with IH research as of today. And if I think about the 8 years and what really has landed, relationships, as Elders Grouse and Pamela both spoke about, as well as Kim in her opening remarks, relationships are so key. And I think over the past 8 years, I've really seen a growth of relationships and the strength in what we think of relationships. As so far to also quote a group in BC around research and relationships, a tagline that you may have heard called "Research is Care." And when I think about research is care and that underlining relationships theme, relationships are part of care and they are part of research. They are the pathway to understanding so that knowledge can be shared in a good way and a way that really resonates with people that we're trying to reach. So when we think about all the presentations this week that you're going to hear, and we hear from these amazing presenters that have come forward and given their time again with us this week, think about the relationships that needed to be forged with community, with patient partners, with researchers, with our IH partners who have really been fantastic the last couple of years in particular in joining the understanding and awareness of how research really plays a role, not just in that evidence and knowledge production, but really in as a joiner of relationships, of different communities, of different people, of different ways of thinking. So I encourage you to think about the relationships that brought you here, the interest of the topic, and how you might use the information that you hear about moving ahead in relationship in a way that really does support that notion of research is care. So again, let me offer my gratitude, Kim, to you for the opening remarks, Sage in the background for doing the brilliant work you always do in supporting this work. And again, once more, Elders Pamela and Grouse for supporting this amazing start off to the week. I encourage you to make sure that you are ready for the wonderful presentations. I know they start right at 1 o'clock. And I'm going to pass it off to Kim just to give any sort of last minute comments before we get ready for the next presentation in 10 minutes. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you, Dee. And I would also like to acknowledge the amazingly talented Sage Runner, who's providing tech support for us for the whole week. Though you might not see Sage, she's always there, making sure these events run smoothly. And Sage has many hats also, and one is as a clinical research coordinator at the Kelowna General Hospital. So Sage, this week would not be the same without you, and thank you for all you do. We all sincerely appreciate you. And last up are some housekeeping items. So we have the week set up as webinar. So it's a webinar in Zoom. So I've already had some messages from attendees saying they're not able to unmute their mic. And we have it set up in this way because of the podcast actually that'll be our first presentation starting at 1 o'clock. So we do have it set up in webinar mode for recording purposes, but note you are still able to use the chat box to connect with panelists. And you can also use reactions. So I've seen some of those come through already. So if you're like me and a little technologically challenged, reactions are items like the emojis. It's on the bottom of your screen. You'll see a reaction with a little smiley face. So emojis like there's the thumbs up, the party emoji, hearts, that kind of thing. So those can be viewed by everyone at any time. And we are recording all sessions this week with the intent of sharing at a later date. So if you've registered as a participant for IH Research Week 2022, the recordings will be shared with you. And speaking of, most importantly, is taking care of yourself. So if at any point you need to take a stretch or a break, we encourage you wholeheartedly to do so, especially being that we have a podcast up at 1 o'clock. You can put in your earphones, earbuds, beats, whatever you got, and stretch and walk around and get that good breath. Please also explore the Eventbrite platform for the entire week schedule. Thank you so much again for registering and being part of IH Research Week 2022. So we do have 10 minutes, as Dee said, so we'll have a short pause until 1 o'clock when the podcast session will begin. So please take this time to get a cup of coffee, tea, glass of water, bio break, stretch, whatever you need to do. And we'll see you back here again at 1 p.m. Thanks so much. Take good care. See you soon.